up guys, and welcome to this new video here on my YouTube channel. My name is Mario, and in this video I will analyze 5 of my own power jibes. And I will look, of course, also and especially at my mistakes because I want to improve. And the goal of this video is that you guys out there can learn from my mistakes, and of course that I also learn from my mistakes. And if you're new to this channel, I invite you, of course, to subscribe to not miss any of the future videos because I'm uploading basically every single week new windsurf content. Let's start with jibe number 1. So as you saw, it was a fully planing jibe, but the jibe itself was very chaotic, and we're gonna look at it in slow-mo. So as you can see, I've got quite some good speed. The board is nicely under control in that little bit of chop. And I'm gonna stop right here because this is basically where I'm entering the jibe, and you can see that I took my back foot out of the foot strap, and this is usually where you lose the first bit of control. And you can already see the first mistake that I made in this jibe was the timing of entering the jibe. So I pulled my back foot out of the strap a little bit too fast. I opened the sail too much when I entered the jibe, and my board took off basically on a little bit of chop. So I lost control right when I entered the jibe. Gonna have some more problems in just a second, so let's continue with the jibe. And here you can see 2 more mistakes that I made. First of all, in the bottom left corner of the screen, you can see the beach. So I'm jibing very close to the beach. And this is also why I made that timing mistake, because I wanted to jibe close to the beach, but I messed it up a little bit. So that was not so good. And the second big mistake that I made is that due to the lack of control in the entry of the jibe, my clue, meaning the tail part of the boom, went into the water. And when that happens at high speed, it sort of gets sucked down and gets stuck. And so it will be very, very difficult for me to pull that sail up again. And yeah, I think we can let the jibe run from that moment on. You can see me screaming. So I will stop again here, and you can see my face is pointing downwards, meaning I'm looking at the boom, I'm looking at what my board is doing and so on. You always want to look ahead of your jibe because your body is basically following where you're looking at. And yeah, then we can let the jibe run. You see me switching my feet. Hand switch, very nice. I'm still looking up, looking down, however you want to call it. And then I'm leaving the jibe. And yeah, so that was the first jibe. And you can see I was planing through that jibe because the water was flat, because I had plenty of speed when I entered the jibe, and because I, had quite some body tension. But there were so many little and bigger mistakes in that jibe that if there was just a little bit more of chop, I would have definitely crashed it. And I would say, let's jump straight away into the next jibe. So you saw the jibe, and I think this jibe on first sight is even more difficult to analyze, because if you don't have a good eye for power jibes, you might be thinking, oh well, that was very nice jibe. And it was not a bad jibe, but there are a few mistakes still in that jibe that can be improved, and that would lead to bigger problems if you're, for example, in a difficult situation like a competition or in very choppy waters. So let's start with the slow-mo of jibe number 2. So as you can see, I have less speed than in jibe number 1. I will stop right away here. Also, the board was not as steady. This means I will have to have a better technique during the jibe, otherwise I will not make a planing jibe. Now I'm entering the jibe, and I will stop right here because you can see my body is very far forward on the board, which means I keep a lot of drive during the jibe. My body is over the sail. This is all very nice. It's basically a laydown jibe, as you can see. Yeah, now we're gonna let it run, and you can see, my board is stuttering a little bit. And here, just a second later, you can see I still have not initiated the shifting and the foot switch, and it is already a little bit too late. I should have done that earlier to keep all the speed when I'm exiting the jibe. And you can see, same mistake as in jibe number 1. I'm looking down. I think to me personally, I think this is one of the main issues that I have when jibing. I don't know why I do it. Sometimes I try to not do it, but I always come back to looking down. Now you see what happens when you're shifting too late. If you look at the top of my sail, you can see it's getting backwinded a little bit. If you shift a little bit earlier, it's less likely that you get backwinded like this, but yeah, I'm gonna let the jibe run, and you can see, again, I'm very safe with my hand switch, with my foot switch, so this is all going nicely. But because I lost so much speed and that was the end of the gust, you know, it gets a little bit sketchy at the end, but I still make it planing. Main learning for me so far is look up. Maybe I have to make a dedicated video about this thing because I think it does so much to your jibes. This one is a tough one because on first sight, this almost looks like a perfect jibe. Of course, during the exit, I pumped, but I remember that jibe and I pumped because I was scared that I could get stuck because the jibe felt so nice and I definitely wanted to mess it up. But yeah, this one is going to be tough because I didn't see so many mistakes on first sight. So let's let it run. As you can see, I've got some very nice speed. The board is flying. Of course, in slow-mo, you can see the board moving a little bit. It's choppy after all. And yeah, I'm unhooking and I'm gonna press pause right here because this is actually, I'm actually proud of that jibe a tiny little bit. It looks very, very clean, very nice. You can see the spray. The board is at a very nice angle. It's not too straight up because then, you know, it gets really tricky. You need to be really, really fast. You don't want to have it too flat because then it starts flying around and it doesn't cut so nicely through the chop. But this is very, very nice. The entry of the jibe is super cool. My body is leaning forward. I sheeted in the sail very nicely. So let's keep looking. The board is laying perfectly in the water and I'm looking ahead. This is where I'm supposed to look. And now, unfortunately, if I let it run for a second, I do it again. I just do it for half a second, maybe a second, and I look down. And in this jibe, I think you can imagine very nicely what would happen if I didn't look down at that very moment. If I looked to the left through the sail, also in the competition, that would be very important to see the others. And yeah, I'm gonna let the jibe run and I'm still looking down. I'm also looking at my hands when I'm shifting, which makes no sense because I know where to put my hands. It's all automatically. I'm not thinking about these things during a jibe. But I think this is, again, the core mistake of this jibe. Then if I look at the exit, yeah, then right here you can see another mistake. I'm opening up, I'm straightening up. You know, I should have kept my body compact and down. Also, what I could have done better is to go into the front foot strap first and then into the harness to get even more security. But in flat water, you can also go into the harness first and then into your front foot strap. So let's take a look at the penultimate jibe. So I think this is actually an interesting jibe because a lot of things happened during that jibe. It was a very, very quick jibe. You're gonna see in a moment why that was. And I also wasn't planing through that jibe, although I kept a lot of speed. But let's take a look in slow-mo and then find out what's going on. So as you can see, I'm flying around a little bit on the chop. And I will press pause right here because what I didn't do in that jibe was to go downwind enough before the jibe. So I'm actually on a crosswind course here when entering the jibe, and this usually makes it harder to plane through a jibe because the radius that you're going through will be a little bit longer. But yeah, still no big problem. It's flat water, so it's all okay. And let's go into the jibe, and you can see I'm pushing full power into that jibe because I want to make a laydown jibe, a nice laydown jibe on purpose. And I also looked at the camera. This has no deeper sense other than, you know, trying to be sort of stylish, but you can see how tense I am. And yeah, it's not easy to look relaxed at the camera when you're doing a laydown jibe, but my harness lines are in the water, so that's nice. What you also notice when you look at the jibe right now is that the angle of the board is very, very steep. And this means nothing else than I am carving extremely hard. And I can tell you that wasn't on purpose. The board just, boom, went into that jibe and kept the grip, and it basically threw me around the jibe, because like I also didn't understand when I looked at the footage why the board wasn't sliding away or anything like that, but it's jibing really, really nicely. Yeah, so let's take another look, and I'll press pause again. You can see my face, I'm a little bit surprised how quick that board went around the jibe. And now again, same topic as in one of the earlier jibes, it's already almost too late. At that moment, I should have pushed the sail up again and shift my hands and my feet. I would bet I'm gonna get backwinded in just a second. Yeah, I'm gonna press pause here again. You can see the same mistakes. I'm again looking down. It's bugging me while I'm looking at it. I'm also getting backwinded, and yeah, the combination of the two also adding up to the very, very strong carving is just too much. And this is why, yeah, I'm gonna stop. Of course, I have to say, if there was more wind, I could have made it, but this is the thing. The gustier the wind is, the more technique you need during your jibes, and then when you start making mistakes, you simply stop planing through your jibe. And now I think it's time for a beautiful last jibe. And guys, if you enjoyed the video until now, feel free to leave me a thumbs up. And if you enjoyed the video until here, feel free to leave me a thumbs up. And as I said in the beginning, subscribe to this YouTube channel to not miss any of the future videos. I'm enjoying creating this content a lot. I'm doing it since, I think, 8 years now. I'm sometimes losing track of time, and yeah, I've got quite some nice YouTube projects planned, so stay tuned. Yeah, let's jump into the last jibe. Actually, for this jibe I have two different angles. Yeah, I also posted this jibe on my Instagram profile. You can also check that. It's a really beautiful drone angle. Thanks again to Niels for filming it. So let's have a look at this slow-mo drone footage. First thing, I'm gonna press pause right away. As you can see, I'm on different kit now. This is the 107 Dark Horse from Futurefly. Amazing board. Together with the 97, my favorite board. And then I'm on the 7.0 now. Also really nicely trimmed, as you can see. And I am cruising, I'm not overpowered. I'm just cruising, flying over the water, flying through the chop basically. And yeah, as you can see, now I'm heading downwind. Very, very nice. This is what you have to do basically. And yeah, I'm gonna press pause because this is almost a prime example of entering a jibe. You can see my body posture is forward, is over the sail. I'm pulling with my backhand. My front hand is slightly extended and my backhand is pulling like this, so I'm sheeting in very nicely. And also the railing of my board is, I would say, in a very, very good angle. So I'm letting this run for a bit, and you can see from the spray how nicely the board is cutting through the water. It's a really nice and round and steady circle, which leads to me keeping speed. And if you look at the water, you see it's not a lot of wind, so the technique has to be nice and on point if I want to plane through that jibe. But yeah, I can see it even from the drone angle. I'm looking down, I'm making that same mistake over and over again. I think I have to make a separate video on this topic, and I have to try to fix it for myself also. Maybe that's a good video idea. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. And yeah, now you can see me exiting the jibe. And actually guys, if you noticed, I looked forward quite quickly during that jibe. I think that was because the jibe was a little bit slower, and because I also knew the drone is filming me, so I paid extra attention. So the looking down part of this jibe was very small. And if I let this jibe run now, you can see the exit is also, yeah, very nice and smooth. It was a beautiful session in Porto Polo on Sardinia. And I would say with these 5 jibes that we analyzed now together. You hopefully took some things away. Maybe look a second time at this video before your next session. So yeah, you can maybe find some nuggets here and there to improve your own jibes. Anyway guys, that's it with this video. If you need anything windsurf related, if you need advisory, you can of course check out our online windsurf shop, The Wind Lounge. We are shipping worldwide. We are very happy to help. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, as I already said, thumbs up, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and see you guys the next time. Bye bye.